Hey, what's up? I'm Priscilla. I'm your Houston, Texas nurse. I'm going to help you take action today for a healthier tomorrow. Welcome back to my channel. So glad to have you here. And if you find this video helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel.
That's it.
So today I'm going to talk about a personal hurdle that I've overcome. And that personal hurdle is hypothalamic amenorrhea. I was diagnosed with this in 2020. So a little bit of a backstory. I had been on birth control for about 10 years. In my 20s, I was diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I took birth control or got on birth control to help manage those symptoms. In summer of 2019, I came off of birth control. It was making me feel weird. I had done more research on it, and I was just really uncomfortable with the side effects that I realized that it could have on me long term. Highly recommend this book, Beyond the Pill by Dr. Jolene Brighton, if you haven't read it. It's very helpful for me. And so I came off birth control that summer, and then in September of 2019, my father suffered a massive life-altering stroke. The years that followed were two and a half of the most stressful years of my life. So something to keep in mind there, or at least that I was thinking. I came off birth control in the summer, and then I had two of the most stressful years of my life, 2.5. So stress, I knew, would probably keep me from having a period, right? But it doesn't really matter. If you are not having a cycle, it's not normal. And that's something that every woman should know. Actually, young girls today, I think, are told it doesn't matter if you don't have a cycle, but it does. And so I had never really heard anyone talk about hypothalamic amenorrhea, and that's why I feel really passionate about sharing my story, and hope that this can help you too. What is hypothalamic amenorrhea? It's when you go usually longer than 3 months without having a monthly bleed. And a lot of women, when they come off of birth control, they initially might not have a cycle because your hormones have been regulated in a certain way, or actually shut down, really. The communication between your brain and your ovaries has been shut down, and so your body's trying to create this homeostasis again as you come off birth control. So it's normal for it to take a little bit of time. In case it took 2.5 years, and during that time I was a caregiver for my father. My father was dealing with a lot of emotions, life changes. He had multiple grand mal seizures that required CPR. It was COVID. I was working as a nurse in a hospital. My job changed. Also, my health suffered. I went through major GI issues, hospitalization. So there's a lot of stress in my life. But that didn't take away the fact that I still wasn't having a cycle. After having a lot of health issues, I got a lot of those cleared up through a hair tissue mineral analysis. I was supplementing with minerals. I changed my diet. I eliminated seed oils. A lot of things were going well for me, but I still didn't have a monthly cycle. And these are 4 things that I did that really helped me. And if there's anyone else out there who has suffered with this, or if you know someone, I hope you find this helpful. The number one thing that helped me and has helped me heal from hypothalamic amenorrhea is understanding the consequences as a female of not having a monthly cycle, specifically not ovulating. So you might have heard that for a woman, her period is her 5th vital sign. You can check your blood pressure and be concerned about the reading. You can know your heart rate, your weight, all these other things. But your waist circumference, your cycle is a report card every month to you for your health and wellness. And women have been taught to silence that, to avoid it, to shut it down. It's a burden. But one of the best things that helped me heal from hypothalamic amenorrhea was to understand the consequences of not healing. Not having a monthly ovulatory cycle increases your risk for stroke, heart disease, cancer, and bone loss as you age. And when I understood that fully, I realized it was extremely selfish of me not to take time to heal. It didn't matter how uncomfortable I would become, whatever uncomfortableness, meaning weight gain, not being able to work out, all those types of things. Nothing I would experience today would be as uncomfortable as those issues down the road, right? Especially after everything that I had gone through as becoming a caregiver for my father and everything I had watched my family go through. I knew, and I was hell bent, and I still am today, on doing things to prevent being a burden on other people in the future and to take control of my health and wellness as best I can. So, understanding the consequences here is really important because it can make the sacrifice that much easier. And so that was one of the top things. And if you're a woman or you know someone who's a female who is not having an ovulatory cycle, or even who's on birth control because birth control shuts down ovulation, just, I would say the more info you have, the better. And a lot of women are not educated. We're not told in health class about an ovulatory cycle. And you need to have an ovulatory cycle during your fertile years. It's not just about having a baby, it's also about preventing disease. And missing out on progesterone, which is a result of ovulation, can really negatively impact your health. So understanding the consequences of not healing is the first thing to do. The second thing I did is I stayed true to my values while eating 2,500 calories a day. So when I realized I had hypothalamic amenorrhea and what I was doing was not helping me heal from that, I decided to go ahead and get really uncomfortable. I didn't care what happened. I read this book called No Period, Now What? And it's fantastic. I do recommend it for people because it takes a scientific look at why people develop HA. It has so many resources and they've spoken to so many women that there's a lot of great info in here. However, this wasn't in line with my values on nutrition. And I was working with a doctor at the time, and one thing that I could not get on board with that they recommended in this book is to eat wherever the wind takes you.
I'm sailing!
And I just couldn't get on board with that. I have values in my own life. I did not see it as something that would promote my longevity or promote my well-being or decrease inflammation for me to say, I'm just going to eat 6 donuts today. I don't care. And not to say that's exactly what they promote, but I made sure that in my increasing of eating more calories, I stay true to my values. And I think that's extremely important for any goal that you set for yourself. We all have innate values, and if you take an approach that is against your own values, you'll never be happy. And so what I did, one of the things they talk about in here is like the most researched way to heal hypothalamic amenorrhea is to eat 2,500 calories a day. And so I did that, but I did it by eating healthy food, quote unquote. I did not increase my intake of processed foods. I did not start eating out more. I did not eat in a way that would spike my blood sugar and make it drop. I stayed true to my values, and my values are all around eating high quality, nutrient dense foods and decreasing inflammation, balancing blood sugar. That being said, there were some days I was definitely eating close to 3,500 calories. I could eat a lot of peanut butter. I ate a high volume amount of food, and I just kind of let the wind take me on a lot of days with what I ate, but I still stayed true to my values. And that's very important. I have zero regrets on how I handled eating during those couple 4 to 5 months of healing from HA. And it's still a process, right? I'm still healing. I mean, I could definitely do something to negatively impact my health right now, and I'm staying true to my values still. The third thing that I did that was extremely important for me, and it's very important with any approach to healing from hypothalamic amenorrhea, and that is I managed stress. So hypothalamic amenorrhea is caused by stress. These stress can come from either not consuming enough food. It can come from over exercising. So either one of those can create an energy imbalance. And if there's an energy imbalance, the brain senses this is not a safe time to conceive, have a baby, and so it will shut down ovulation, which in turn shuts down having a cycle. But in my case, so a lot of people with eating disorders or exercising excessively have that. I did not have an eating disorder. I do not have an eating disorder. I was very active, and I probably just wasn't eating enough calories without realizing it. But I do think the main source for my condition during that time was stress. If you have ever had a loved one go through a life-altering event, you can understand the amount of stress it is. And my fully healthy father had a stroke and was completely dependent. On top of that, there was a lot of issues going on with care in the hospital. I've had to advocate for him, my siblings, my mom. It's just been a huge life change. So to say it was stressful puts a lot of emotions into 3 words. It was stressful, but I did my best to manage stress. And for me, some of those things that really helped was resting. I cut back on cardio. Good intentions can add stress too, right? I also meditated. I incorporated meditating every day. I have a morning routine that sets me up for success. I am very adamant about the amount of sleep that I get, and I got outside and I had sunshine as much as I could. The little things in life. So you have to kind of take control of stress, otherwise stress will take control of you. Also during that time, I changed my job. I quit full-time nursing. I went full-time with this business, and I made sure that I could be around for my dad and my family in ways that they need, but also decrease stress in my life. And then finally, the last thing that I did to help myself heal from hypothalamic amenorrhea is I supplemented wisely. And food is the first place to go for nutrients and minerals, right? But the sad truth is our food is not what it used to be. And pumpkin seeds and dark chocolate, they're a great source of magnesium, but even still, people aren't getting enough magnesium. And I knew personally from doing a hair tissue mineral analysis, which is a service I offer for my clients, that when I did my own, I was very deficient in potassium. I was very deficient in magnesium and sodium. I had a copper imbalance. And I am able to supplement wisely to promote my hormonal balance. And knowing how to supplement for yourself rather than willy-nilly taking a multivitamin is life-changing. If you know what you're taking, why you're taking it, and that you specifically need it, that can transform your health and save you some money, because a lot of people waste money on supplements. They don't even know why they're taking it. And so supplementing wisely was a huge thing that helped me. So those are just 4 things that I did to help heal from hypothalamic amenorrhea. I hope that's helpful, and maybe that can help someone too. And if you would like to hear any more info on that, just comment below. Happy to share.